Morning, guys. Saturday morning, and hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Out here doing it, up and at 'em. And I actually had a nice part of the neighbour because there's some old trees here. I don't know if I could turn the camera. All these like old trees that I walk around in it, like up the other end. It's just nice. Bit of a good old trees, keep the air clean. Start sniffing that air even though when the traffic goes by they throw pollutants in here. Mind you, I was just crossing the road and I tell you what, you can't hear those electric cars. I just had one coming up. It's sounding like, I don't know if anybody who ever watched Knight Rider when they were younger and the car kit, it sounded like that. It's like, what the heck? But anyway, I just wanted to have a quick chat. It kind of come to me and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start the old camera again because it's actually not a bad subject. I was just thinking of how we walk and how we present ourselves, and it says a lot about ourselves, because we can either walk with our heads down or turning away all the time and give the brain the message of I'm not confident or I'm not worthy enough, and kind of walk with your shoulders back, or not kind of, walk with your shoulders back and your head up and look forward and look around and take in the scenery. So many times we look down at the ground. I mean, I'm a pain in the ass with it too, so, but I'm starting to be aware of hold your head up more, pull your shoulders back. What happens when you're approaching somebody on the street? Or what happens if you're walking up, someone's in front of you and you're kind of catching them up in your speed of walking? What happens then? Do you shy away because there's something there of saying something to somebody, saying hello to somebody, and you get a little bit, I'm not worthy? That all comes down to you guys. It all comes down to displaying that confidence. I tell you, if you pull your shoulders back, if someone's walking towards you and you pull your shoulders back and you look up and you look at them, smile and say hello, it's better than looking down and passing them and not wanting to be recognised, because people judge it like, yeah, look at this asshole. You're not, of course you're not. It's your mind, right? It's your mind going there. So pull your shoulders back. Pull your shoulders back, look forward, have an air of confidence about you when you're talking. If you're in a group and you have something to say, don't be afraid to talk. Say your piece. When you respect yourself, and even if you're not quite feeling it, guys, like one thing I got myself through, which is going to sound a bit crazy, but I bet there's people out there that do this, is if you're walking like I am now, and you're coming up to some side streets and a car's coming out and it's going to meet the crosswalk same time as you meet it, do you find yourself kind of slowing down and letting them go first? Have you done that? I have. I've done it. I've done it a lot. So one thing to start recognising is yourself and not the car. If you start saying to yourself, okay, again, I'm going to hold my shoulders back, I'm going to walk with confidence, and I have just as much right to be here, and you, because what you're telling yourself is, oh, they're better than I am, because you're basically letting everybody go first in before you. You're telling your brain, even though you may not consciously be thinking it, what are you telling your brain when you're shying away down or you're slowing down, letting it happen, when really the people that's in the car, they're quite willing to stop. They're quite willing. We make up our own belief systems of what they're thinking of us, and then we think they're judging us, and like I just said, and we think they're judging us, and we put those belief systems in our head, and then what we do is we just fuel the problem. So once we start fueling that problem, we get more and more afraid of that, and we do it more and more instead of turning it around the other way. Pull your shoulders back, come with an air of confidence, and you'll start telling the brain, hey, look at me, this is me, I'm worth it, instead of I'm not worth it, everybody else is more worth it than I am. So even if you're not quite feeling it, guys, just pull your shoulders back. walk with a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of spring in your step, so to speak. Because the body and the mind work together. And the mind is a very powerful, powerful computer. And if you go sending it the wrong messages, even with your stature, the way you're, if you're doing this all the time, you're showing it's like carrying away. It's like you're not sending the message to the brain, I'm worth it. And that's what this is all about. Looking at yourself. You can't look at others when you can't see yourself. What happens when you're out? What happens if you go into a restaurant, right? Or what happens, think about this. What happens if someone says, hey, we want to go to such and such a place. What do you think? And you say, I don't really mind. What are you telling yourself again? You may mind, but you're doing the people pleasing bit again. You're telling yourself, I'm not important enough. And if you really, really are not bothered, which I do that sometimes, I'll be in a group, I'm the plant-based guy all the time, and everybody's trying to figure things out. Are you okay with that, Steve? I'm all right with anything, and I mean it, I'm all right with anything. I can get something, there's always something. But then I could say, what you could do is, if you're not really bothered, and someone's saying, what do you think? You could give an alternative, say the things that you're not really interested in. I don't really fancy Italian tonight. Or I don't really fancy going to any kind of loud places. Now you're giving that confidence to self, and you're also telling that other person and not putting too much on the other person too, because they really might not know and they're asking you. But if you can come up with like, not really digging that, there's always something, right? There's always something. It's just like music. You listen to music. 1 minute, whatever the sounds is you're playing is like really good, and you're getting an energy out of it. And the next minute, it might not be hitting the right vibration for you. So you listen to something else. Same with food, right? Hey, you get up one day, man, I fancy Italian, and someone else, you're in a group, what'd you fancy? Not really fancying the Italian. Let them know that. Nothing wrong with that. But hold yourself with a little bit of respect, guys. Respect yourself and you'll get respected. Hold yourself up. Stay straight. Look at people. Put yourself first. Have a great weekend. It's a nice Saturday out here. It's gorgeous. Make yourself better than yesterday. And then make yourself tomorrow better than today. Stay the course, guys. Namaste.